Right, we'll continue with our Nelson Mandela Day coverage. The day is celebrated today as people from all walks of life give 67 minutes of their time to do good for humanity. For more on this, we are joined by Fellowship Program Lead Carol Ann Foulis and Nokhukhanya Mchunu from Social Change Assist Trust. A very good morning to you both. Thank you so much for your time. Perhaps, Carol, let's start with you. Talk to us about the DGMT Fellowship and the sort of strides it aims to make in changing and bettering people's lives.
Good morning. Thanks for having us on the show. Yeah, so the DG Murray Trust, as you know, is an organization that really is committed to civil society organizations and building a strong and impactful layer of leaders in civil society. I think really what DGMT is hoping is to see NGOs and civil society taking its equal place alongside government and the private sector. And so what we've been doing for the last 4 years since 2018 is really to train a cohort of young and emerging leaders in civil society around innovation and leadership. And we will be graduating 100 leaders by the end of this year from across 70 different civil society organizations who are doing incredible work, not only to support the delivery of social services in South Africa, but equally to solve some of the complex social problems that we are faced on a daily basis.
Yeah, Nokhukhanya, let me bring you into the conversation. You participated and, you know, perhaps talk to us about your experience being part of this fellowship and what it means for your organization.
Yeah. Yes, good morning. I'm Nokhukhanya. My participation in the fellowship was really, I think, life-changing. First and foremost, it is a year-long fellowship where you're really given tools to be innovative in the organization that you're in, and more so on a broader spectrum in civil society. And coupled with that, there's ontological coaching that it runs with you throughout the whole year. And I found that that's where the shift for me happened mostly, where I was able to tackle challenges which I had faced as a young professional in the sector, as simple as what you call what it is, you know, when you're really afraid of speaking to people and you feel like you don't belong. There's a word, it just slipped my mind.
Yes.
So I tackled things like that in the fellowship. What it meant for my organization, it meant that a newer voice was heard. Creative ideas were taken into consideration in really shifting how we were working in civil society. And as you know, civil society and their challenges, they shift as we go. And we needed to have that as an organization too, and apply those creative ideas.
Yeah. Carol Ann, perhaps as we look at society today and we assess the climate, the socio-economic climate, we know that young people are feeling left out of the system. The unemployment rate is something of significance, especially as we mark a day like today. You are set on positioning young leaders as change agents. How important is that initiative, especially looking at how young people are living today?
I think there's a number of angles to that. One, first of all, is that the civil society sector is a big employer of young people. You know, the civil society employs at least 1 million people. If you look at the number of organizations, I think the last estimate from DSD was that there were about 200,000 NPOs registered with DSD. So first of all, the civil society is a huge employer of people, and particularly young people. And we need new ideas. We need new thinking in society. And what we really see is through this fellowship, we just see such a wealth of energy and intelligence, and particularly emotional intelligence. I mean, I think on this particular day, really just seeing how sussed, how switched on, how inclusive, how innovative these young leaders are. And it gives me a huge amount of hope for South Africa, knowing that future organizations are going to be in their hands. So I think from that point of view, it really is an important initiative. And there's not enough investment that's being made in young leaders in this sector in particular. If you work in the private sector, it's a little bit different. There's a big investment that's made into you. But that's not necessarily the case in civil society. And that's really what we're trying to shift.
Mm-hmm. Nokhukhanya, with your participation in this fellowship, how has that enabled you to use your skills to better and support communities?
With my participation, it's really enabled me to step forward a little bit more in actually applying my skills, because more often than not, in working in the sector, you just come in, you do the work, and you don't really engage with what you're doing. So my participation in the fellowship has really allowed me to sit back and see if there's impact in the work that we're doing. What is the impact, and how am I being useful in ensuring that that impact is applied in civil society work?
Carol, and perhaps wrapping up with you, talk to us about the significance of today being Mandela Day, and how civil society can continue to play a role, especially reflecting on very important issues that affect communities today. I mean, the economy and higher unemployment rate, the increases in fuel, electricity, and so forth.
Yes, I think, we need people to be applying their minds to these issues in a way that is connected to the issues on the ground, but that is also using the best research from elsewhere, and that we are gathering over time. And so I think that's what I really see happening with these young leaders, is that they are very connected. They're very connected to the issues, but they're also so curious and asking so many good questions. And so I think, that coming together really means that we're going to start to find solutions that have a real possibility of living and taking off. These young leaders are really interested in finding solutions that will work. And I think for me, that is really the big difference. And if I start to look at South Africa through the eyes of civil society, I really see a lot of possibility for coming up with answers and solutions that have a real chance of success.
Very well. Thank you so much. Let me thank you both for your time. Carol and Foulis, GDGMT Fellowship Lead, and Nokhukhanya Mchunu, who participated in the fellowship, and the Program Officer at the Social Change Assistance Trust. Thank you for your time.